This video is from the topic B1, cell biology, looking at cell structure, focusing on eukaryotes and prokaryotes. So eukaryotic cells, think you. We are animals, okay, so we have eukaryotic cells. We are eukaryotes, okay. Plant cells also go into that category as well. Now, the animal cell is really basic, okay. Three main components to it. We've got the nucleus, the cytoplasm, and the cell membrane. The nucleus is where the DNA is stored. People sometimes call it the brain of the cell. Don't do that, okay? It's just where the genetic information is stored, held in that nucleus. So that's where we've got the chromosomes, the DNA. The cytoplasm is where chemical reactions occur. So later on in this video, we'll be looking at what kind of structures are actually floating around in that cytoplasm where the chemical reactions actually occur. And the cell membrane controls what goes in and out of the cell. It kind of keeps everything together, but it controls what enters and what leaves the cell, and it's flexible. So an animal cell can have different shapes. You can move your skin cells so that they're quite flexible. Okay. The plant cell has all of those same structures as the animal cell, but it has three extras. Okay, we've got the chloroplast, which is filled with chlorophyll, which is what makes the leaves green. The chlorophyll absorbs sunlight for photosynthesis, okay, so that's getting the energy for photosynthesis to occur. It's got this large vacuole which stores the cell sap, okay, that kind of sticky stuff. You cut some daffodils in particular and you get kind of the sticky sap on your hands. That's come out of the vacuole. And we've got the cell wall. Now, just like the walls of a room, the walls of a building, the cell wall is on the outside, okay? So cell membrane on the inside, cell wall on the outside, and it keeps it rigid. It's actually the only part of the cell that isn't alive, okay? So it's made of cellulose, and it's got a rigid shape to give that plant cell a rigid shape. So when you break a leaf, you can actually see you've damaged it. You can't really flex it as much as you might be able to move around your skin cells when you move your arms or your legs or whatever, okay? Looking at the prokaryotic cell, okay, this is the bacterial cell, okay, prokaryotic. There's no nucleus, okay? The genetic information is just stored as this long strand of genetic information, and then the circle there is called a plasmid. There may be one or more plasmids in a bacterial cell. It's got a flagellum, which comes off of the bacteria and helps provide movement. It's got a cell wall, just like the plant cell does, to help it keep its shape. No mitochondria, no chloroplasts, no vacuole, and no nucleus. So these are the other things, okay? This is what we were talking about when I said that chemical reactions occur in the cytoplasm. They don't really occur in the cytoplasm. They occur in these different structures found in the cytoplasm. So let's start with mitochondria. Mitochondria is where respiration occurs. It uses oxygen and glucose. The oxygen is taken from breathing, the oxygen going into the alveoli and then into the blood, and the glucose is taken from the small intestine through the villi into the blood. More about that in B2. Respiration is the chemical reaction that occurs inside cells to release the energy from the glucose. And it's really important that we say release energy, not produce energy, because we're just releasing the energy that's stored in that glucose. Ribosomes is the site of protein synthesis, where proteins are made. More about that in B6. So at the moment we're just going to remember that ribosomes, like a rack of ribs, is made of protein. Okay, that's going to help us remember it. We're just going to hold on to that thought of proteins are made at the ribosomes. And then we've got the chloroplasts, which we've mentioned already, contain chlorophyll, which makes them green. This enables them to absorb light, okay, and this is where photosynthesis occurs. If we look at a root hair cell, okay, found in the root of the plant, it's underground, okay. There's no chloroplast there at all because there's no light to be absorbed because it's underground, but we do find a lot of mitochondria because of active transport, the movement of minerals, which requires energy through active transport into the cell. More about that in the specialised cells video. Hope you found that useful. Thank you.